Welcome to the 47th Fastest Rookie of the Year Award celebration. Our show will begin in less than a minute.
Throughout 10 decades, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the dairy industry have forged a lasting legacy in the 500, the Victory Circle Bottle of Milk tradition. Additionally, for 47 consecutive years, Indiana's dairy farmers have honored the fastest rookie qualifier in the field of 33, a program second only to Borg Warner in its longevity under the same stewardship. Both are examples of how a sustainable relationship can recognize remarkable achievements and write history into the books and into our lives.
In the 1930s, Louis Meyer celebrated with an ice-cold glass of buttermilk. And a decade later, my family started farming in Plymouth, Indiana. We both sustained the tradition that we carry on and continue to carry on for future generations to come.
Both dairy and IndyCar understand that their actions positively affect the communities and fan base that support them.
While I think the Dairy Association and the Speedway want to take a lot of credit for that relationship, it's really our fans that have continued to embrace it. And you even see it in the grandstands. People bring milk to the racetrack with them because it's part of what they want to do to connect to Victory Lane, helping us celebrate it.
All three, IndyCar, dairy, and our communities, realize the challenges ahead and look to history to guide their way.
Simple things like thinking about recycling or trying to find local food suppliers to help us feed the folks that are here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, or whether it's the lights that you see in the restrooms when you come here, the LED lights or faucets that turn themselves off. All of those things are important for us as we start looking at sustainability.
That's one thing, being a family farm. You know, we live in the area, we have our whole lives, so we're as much concerned as anybody else to the environment. I think we're a lot like these race teams. They're really a family. You know, we both want to win, whether it's producing that bottle of milk to give to them or to win the race.
I think that it's really humbling that I got to be a part of his hard work and he got to be a part of my hard work, and that togetherness, it's just crazy that we get to celebrate it on such a stage. It was that moment of like, I got you, you got me, we're coming together and we're celebrating this hard work that we both did.
As we reestablish our balance and return to more normal lives, let's raise a glass, bottle, or carton of milk to those who pulled us through and to those who are dedicated to helping our next generations thrive.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jenny Browning, CEO of the American Dairy Association Indiana, and on behalf of our 750 dairy farm families, welcome to the 47th annual Fastest Rookie of the Year Award celebration. For decades, Indiana dairy farmers have championed two of the longest running programs of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Victory Circle Bottle of Milk tradition and the Fastest Rookie of the Year Award. The Indiana dairy community is a proud partner of the Indianapolis 500, annually celebrating the healthy benefits of milk and the competitive energy of open wheel racing to an international audience. In less than a week, eyes will turn to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to applaud 33 drivers daring, marvel at their high-speed accomplishments, and salute the winner of the 105th 500-mile race with what's been called the sports world's coolest prize, with an ice-cold bottle of milk, that beloved tradition launched decades ago by the great Louis Meyer. Thanks to our 2021 Victory Circle Bottle of Milk presenters, Jill Huyin and Tim Haynes, for their contributions to our show Open. You'll hear more from them both shortly. And thanks also to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway President, Doug Bowles, for letting us know how the IMS community and the dairy community share a determined commitment to sustainability. Another longtime friend of dairy joins us on video today. Welcome to the Honorable Joe Hogsett, Mayor of the City of Indianapolis.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 47th annual Indianapolis 500 Fastest Rookie Award celebration. It's been an exciting month awaiting the return of our race to Memorial Day weekend. Of course, that's not the only tradition we're excited for. The Winner's Circle Bottle of Milk dates all the way back to the 1930s. It is one of the defining images in the biggest single-day event in all of sports. So my thanks to the American Dairy Association, Indiana, for keeping alive the bottle of milk and the fastest rookie luncheon. I wish our 2021 rookies the best of luck in their attempt. Finally, we are once again gathered virtually for this celebration. However, that does not speak to the great distance our city has traveled since last May. One of the reasons we're able to host fans this year is because of the tireless efforts of our healthcare workers. Time and again, they have given so much for the good of our community. Our city is enormously grateful for their service over the past year. And with that, I invite you to enjoy the rest of today's Fastest Rookie celebration. And remember, winners drink milk.
Many thanks to Mayor Hogsett for being such a great advocate for our city, for the race, and for our dairy community. Now it's time to turn things over to two of our favorite Indy sports guys and the MCs for our 47th annual Fastest Rookie of the Year celebration. Say hello to Jake Query and Derek Schultz.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thanks, Jenny.
Thanks.
Derek, first and foremost, I guess it was last year we were rookies at this event, right? Rinus VK was the fastest rookie qualifier a year ago. It is Pietro Fittipaldi, who we will meet later for this year. But I'm actually kind of surprised after our rookie year that we were asked back.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all. I was told, even though we weren't handing out actual hardware, that it was an award-winning performance last year at the Fastest Rookie Luncheon. So I'm super excited about being back.
Well, listen, things are a little bit different than a year ago. Obviously, we are still doing this from a virtual standpoint because we are still, even though we now see light at the end of the tunnel, in a situation where we have to be very careful. But nonetheless, it was great to be out at the track over the course of this weekend for qualifying and just to see fans back out. And I know that you were out there enjoying it to do some of the great traditions that we've enjoyed.
Oh, 100%. And, we've used that word a lot this past year, normalcy. It felt normal, right? On Saturday and Sunday, spectacular weather, 40,000, 50,000 fans out there at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway taking in qualifying weekend. We had a Fast Friday. We're going to have a carb day. I know that this is still a reduced capacity, but 135,000 fans on race day, certainly better than none.
Now, typically, the race is all about traditions, of course, and milk is a great part of those traditions. Also, one of those great traditions is every year, Derek, you camp out in the Coke lot the night before the race. You ask me to come out, and then you drive home at 9 o'clock and go to bed.
Yeah,
Are you doing that again this year?
It gets a little chilly out there. We're actually in the gated community of the Coke lot, so we're on a fence on the other side of Georgetown Road.
Yeah.
So we have a nice little separation in there, but that's just one of our kind of like the chuggy of the milk of Victory Circle. That's me and my friends' sort of tradition that we have every single year for the Indianapolis 500.
Okay, I want to know, coming off of qualifying, what jumped out at you? What surprised you? What do you anticipate in terms of the race on Sunday?
I think my surprise was the same with most people, with Team Penske's, some of their struggles in qualifying. And that's not to say that they're not going to have a great race, because we saw it last year. There were some struggles in qualifying, and I believe all of their drivers in that paddock ended up improving their position on race day. So I think that's a big storyline. But Jake, you've been around the IndyCar season all year long. The young guns and this youth movement that we're seeing in the series, 4 of the 5 winners so far under the age of 24. And of course, you've got Scott Dixon, the one winner who isn't obviously under the age of 24. And then of course, the pole sitter for a 4th time in this Sunday's race.
It is the youngest front row in the history of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. As a matter of fact, Scott Dixon is 40, but he is flanked by 2 guys who combined are 41 years old in Colton Herta and Rinus VK. So the youngest front row in the history of the event. That's going to be fun to watch and to see how those young guys kind of jockey around. I'm not overly worried, Derek, about, if I was Team Penske, where they are actually starting the race, because over the course of 500 miles, it's about how your car performs in traffic when there's 32 other cars around it. Have you done the 2-seater?
I have.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy what these guys do.
How do they do it with 32 other cars around them? Is what
I have no idea how they pull it off. But you're right, Jake. As much as we mentioned the young guns and, somebody like Rinus VK, who, of course, was our fastest rookie at this celebration last year, who's starting in the front row, or Colton Herta, as you mentioned. How about the veterans in qualifying? Elio Castroneves is going to start up front. Tony Kanaan had one of the fastest cars, I thought, throughout practice week. So don't forget, Ryan Hunter-Reay, don't forget about all of these past winners who know their way around this tricky oval.
And by the way, this is the 47th year of this event. It is the first time that every starter in row number 1 is somebody who was previously honored as the fastest rookie qualifier by the American Dairy Association of Indiana. So you have 3 guys in front who already have done a milk toast. And of course, Scott Dixon, who drank the milk back in 2008. And speaking, by the way, of those drivers who have been the fastest rookie qualifier, we would be remiss if we did not mention our condolences on the passing of 1995 fastest rookie qualifier Andre Ribeiro, who at the age of 55 passed away in his native Brazil within the last week after a battle with cancer. Our condolences and heartfelt sympathies to his fans, his friends, and those who have supported his racing career.
For sure. Thanks for saying that. Thoughts and prayers, of course, to Andre and his family. We're thinking about them during this time. Coming up later on in our program, we've got plenty to get to. We've got awards to give away. We've got prizes for you as well. If you're watching right now via Zoom, we'll have some trivia questions coming up for you. So if you type in the Q&A box on your Zoom screen, you can go ahead and submit those answers. And throughout the show, we'll be choosing 5 random dairy fans to win more Winners Drink Milk prizes. But you must be tuned in to win. So good luck. Here are your trivia questions.
Question number 1. In 2016, the Fastest Rookie of the Year award recipient went on just 5 days later to win the 100th running of the 500-mile race. Who was that driver? Question number 2. Several female drivers have competed in the Indianapolis 500, but only one has been honored as Fastest Rookie of the Year. Who is that driver? Question number 3. Name a father and son duo where both picked up Fastest Rookie honors.
Question number 4. The Victory Circle bottle of milk tradition traces its beginnings back to the 1930s in driver Louis Meyer, the very first 3-time winner of the 500-mile race. What beverage did he request to quench his post-race thirst? And finally, question number 5. American Dairy Association Indiana annually conducts the Indy 500 Drivers Milk Preference Poll, asking what type of milk he or she would like in Victory Circle. Name 2 of the 3 milk varieties offered to the drivers.
Welcome back to the 47th Annual American Dairy Association of Indiana Fastest Rookie Luncheon. Well, you met them a little bit during the opening montage video here of our luncheon today. But let's find out more about the dairy farmers that will be presenting the coveted bottle of milk in Victory Lane after the 105th running of the Indianapolis 500. Our first is a woman who actually handed the bottle off a year ago, but circumstances are such that she's going to be able to do it 2 years in a row. So let's meet more about Jill Huyin.
So last year, the track had less people being able to celebrate with the winner. So this year, I am so excited to hand out that milk to the winner like I did last year and see the excitement of how he worked so hard to win the Indy 500, and dairy farmers worked so hard to bring nutritious milk to the winner. Walking out last year and the driver grabbing that milk from my hand was out of this world. And we all will be here to celebrate and be excited about winning the Indy 500 and celebrating with an ice cold glass of milk.
Even though he was the designated rookie milk presenter in 2020, due to COVID-19 protocols, he was unable to actually attend the race in person. That'll change coming up here this Sunday. Let's welcome on Indiana dairy farmer Tim Haynes.
I understood that. I was disappointed, but I did watch the race from home like most people did, and I actually toasted at the end of the race, when they gave the milk. And then as the year went on, for us, things really didn't change. The cows had to be taken care of. This is something you just can't walk away from. You can't help but feel passionate about it. Our family started milking cows over 100 years ago. As I compare us to the 500, we looked at Louis Myers taking the first drink of milk back in the 30s. From the dairy standpoint, we were able to tie that together at the end of the race and hand them that cold drink of milk to the winners. It makes them both feel like winners. And and winners drink milk.
Let's meet them in person now. The Indianapolis 500 milk presenters for 2021, Jill Huyin and Tim Haynes.
Hello.
Guys, great to have you on stage with us.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, Jill, you are now, I'm just assuming, the answer to a great trivia question, which is, typically what happens is you are the rookie, so you observe the whole process, and then you become the presenter. Well, you're the presenter now for a second year in a row. You've got to be the first back-to-back presenter in the history of the event.
Longest running milk person right here. So Tim has a lot to learn from me. I'm pretty experienced.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to it
Tim,
again.
you've had to wait now, as we just talked about, it's kind of been this, get and then stop and then get for you. Does that make you nervous? You've had a year now to sit here and continue to anticipate it.
Oh, I'll probably get more nervous as we get closer, but Jill's done a good job of trying to get me ready for this. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
Jill, what can you tell Tim, some tips maybe, because obviously you were in Victory Circle last year as the milk presenter.
Yes. So the biggest thing is not to drop the milk because, oh my goodness, but people will be talking about it then.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the biggest thing is being as excited and elated and so in the moment as the winner grabs the bottle of milk out of your hand. You worked hard as a farmer. He or she.
That's right.
He or she worked hard to win that race. And just that moment is just amazing.
Well, let me ask you, Jill. So a year ago, Takuma Sato gets out of the car. And I thought, and I think a lot of people felt this way, because there were no fans there, it was kind of fitting to have somebody who at least had gone through it before, right? Because it would have been a shame for somebody's only 500 win to be in that circumstance. But I thought Sato was very gracious about it. He was excited about it. And did you almost block out that there were no fans because it was still such an electric moment?
That moment was so genuine. He was so excited to take that milk and celebrate with that milk. He took that sip of ice cold milk that I made sure I kept cold. It was a lot of work being alone, but I'm excited and look forward to the fact that I have some help this year as the rookie is with me this year.
It's such a grind for these drivers to prepare for the greatest spectacle in racing, but both of you guys, you, Tim and Garrett, and you and Plymouth, Jill, have your own dairy farms, and I know every day is a grind for you guys as well. I know we're talking about different things here, dairy farming and racing, but is it somewhat similar in the sense that all the work that you have to put in to produce milk and these dairy products?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because, we're both striving to be winners and in just a little different ways, but the amount of technology that we each use to get there is amazing. And it's just, and sustainability. We're working very hard, both of us, to help bring that buzzword around by, being the best, stewards we can to what we're doing.
Yeah, with technology, cows were wearing Fitbits before humans were.
Yeah.
We were tracking the steps of the cows.
Knew exactly how many they'd taken, right?
We have so much. I didn't realize how much we had in common with Indy drivers and how hard they work. They analyze the technology, they work on sustainability, and they're mostly families. So that family unit coming together to have that goal and have that moment in the winner's circle.
Well, we promise not to analyze exactly the job you do so long as you don't drop the milk.
Whew,
right?
I know.
That's all we worry about. Listen, you guys have been great, obviously, ambassadors and stewards for a fabulous tradition. So we thank you for coming. We wish you the best of luck and have fun.
And
Soak it in, all right?
remember, winners drink milk.
Yep.
Winners do
That's
drink
right.
milk. And in addition to that, by the way, the American Dairy Association of Indiana is doing more than just simply providing the milk. There is a $10,000 check that will also go to the fastest rookie qualifier for this year's running of the Indianapolis 500. We will get into that. And also, our first very special guest will join us after this short break as the 47th annual American Dairy Association Fastest Rookie Luncheon continues.
Sustainable future, dairy in balance. Indiana dairy farm families have had a special stewardship for the land they farm and the dairy cows under their care. They understand the importance of saving our precious resources, from the air we all breathe to the land they cultivate, to be in balance with the carbon footprint that defines our environment. That's why dairy farmers have developed smart ways to responsibly maximize yields while moving their industry towards carbon neutral operations. In the last decade, producing milk requires 30% less water, 21% less land, and a 19% smaller carbon footprint. When most people hear carbon footprint, the first thought is how to make it smaller. The dairy community has been thinking the same thing for decades, understanding that the total amount of greenhouse gases generated by our actions is what makes up a carbon footprint. In fact, the dairy supply chain, from the farm to the processing plant to the transportation and even the final waste product, only accounts for 2% of all greenhouse gas emissions. Indiana dairy farmers are working their land to sustain our environment through optimizing water use at the dairy, recycling it for multiple applications, using manure as a natural fertilizer in their fields, and to help heat homes, all the while making sure their dairy cows have the right environment, nutrients, and the care they need for a happy life. Join us as we explore the modern dairy farm, where sensible, sustainable practices are helping to make Indiana and the planet a better and cleaner place to live, while keeping our communities supplied with safe, nutritious, delicious dairy products that fuel a healthy lifestyle. For more information, log on to winnersdrinkmilk.com. Sustainable future, dairy in balance.
The milk tradition, which began with Louis Meyer in the 1930s, was firmly established.
Donald Davidson usually has a story for you, a good story. As a matter of fact, for nearly 60 years, he's had a lot of stories to tell, and every one of them has made you smile a little wider, laugh a little louder, and always learn a little more about the history of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the 500-mile race. We're betting he has a couple of more to share with us today.
When it comes to fans of the greatest race in the world, there is no introduction needed when it comes to the historian emeritus of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, talking about Donald Davidson, who officially retired in his historian capacity at the end of 2020, but continues to grace us with his brilliant factoids and fun stories that are all, of course, within that fantastic memory of his. And Jenny, we are thrilled that Donald Davidson is going to join us here on the Fastest Rookie Luncheon.
That's right. Hello, Donald. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. It's May, yippee.
Well, Donald, you know, it's interesting because it is May, and inside the museum where you have spent so much time at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, there's a fabulous exhibit right now paying homage, of course, to Rick Mears, the four-time winner. And it turns out Rick Mears is somebody that truly loves and appreciates the tradition of the bottle of milk.
Absolutely. I've got this great story that it was one day in probably the late 1980s, and somebody said, have you noticed how Rick Mears hangs onto his milk bottle after he's won the race? And they're driving him around after he's done with Victory Circle, and they're doing all these interviews. He said, he's clutching that bottle and won't let go of it. So I thought, well, no, I hadn't noticed that. In fact, I've got a clear memory of Rick in Victory Circle in 1979 and thinking, you know what, he doesn't seem to be particularly excited about this. It was just another day at the office. So a few years later, Rick told me that he said, yes, indeed. He said, it was, you know, I'm just starting for the second time. And he said, I won. I'm driving for Penske, was supposed to win. And he said, it didn't really hit me until I didn't win the next couple of years. And then by the time for 84, they said, I really cherished it. So anyway, after he had retired, Christmas of 92, I think it was in 93 at Nazareth, Pennsylvania, and a fan came up to him at an event and said, I've got your milk bottle from 1979. And Rick said, you do? I've been looking for that for years. What do you want for it? So the poor fellow is perplexed because he thinks, well, that's a prized part of my collection, but my hero wants it. So what do I do? So he says, I don't know. How about an autographed helmet? So Rick told me later, he said, I told him, done. That's the easiest deal I've ever made. So all four of those milk bottles today, Rick Mears has them in his personal collection.
That's a great story. We have, speaking of meaningful milk bottles, we have something from Indiana Dairy Farmers and the American Dairy Association for you, Donald. You've helped us with the tradition and telling that story of the milk tradition. So we have a specially etched bottle that says Donald Davidson, winning track historian, for you.
Oh, that means so much to me. Thank you. You know, I think I went to every Fastest Rookie luncheon. The first one was 1975 with Bill Fitipaldi, and I never missed one until last year when things were different. So thank you. That means a lot to me.
Donald, last question here. While we're on the topic of Rick Mears, of course, he has 4 Indianapolis 500 wins, is the all-time pole sitter as well. But Scott Dixon climbing up that list, won his 4th pole on Sunday and looking for his 2nd win, still looking for it. In fact, just a one-time winner of the 500. Is this the year that Dixon breaks through and gets that 2nd Indy 500 win?
Well, you know, he's overdue. It's almost like a Mario Andretti situation. You know, Scott should have won several times, and I encountered him right after he'd won the pole, and I said, you know, the pace cars are convertible this year. Do you know the last time it was a convertible? And he said, yes, 2008 when I won it. So that could be an omen. And then the other thing that's just extraordinary, because Scott does not have a flashy style, but listen to this. Last year, he went from 9th to 3rd in all-time laps led. This year, if he leads, I think it's 82 laps, which is entirely possible. he would pass Ralph De Palma and Al Unser to become the all-time lap leader. And I think that's just amazing and a testament to his skill. He brings them home, and he's always up front.
Well, Scott Dixon can pass some all-time greats, but no one will ever pass you, Donald. Thanks so much for coming on the program. Enjoy retirement and enjoy the upcoming 105th running of the Indianapolis 500.
Oh, thank you for the kind words.
Always great to hear from the incomparable Donald Davidson, the historian emeritus at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now, Jake, it's time to meet half of this year's rookie class in the 105th running of the Indianapolis 500. He hails from New Zealand, and he is a rookie in title only. Trust me, he's been dominant in supercars over in Australia the last couple of years. His qualifying speed, 230.557 miles per hour. It qualified him in the middle of row 6. Say hello to Team Penske's Scott McLaughlin. Scott, it's great to join us via Zoom. Really appreciate your time today.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Scott, I want to begin with this. I know that we're here to talk about racing, right? We have the biggest race in the world coming up here within the week. But it is the American Dairy Association of Indiana's, luncheon here. And I found out, and I found this fascinating, you're from the other side of the world, but you grew up around cows? Is that right? Like, you're familiar with the dairy farming industry?
Well, my mum's side of the family actually had a dairy farm growing up. My mum used to be always out 4 a.m. milking cows, doing the stuff. And obviously New Zealand's very, like you said, it's a big country for doing the dairy farming and all that sort of stuff. So for sure, I've grown up. I have milked a cow myself, which is impressive, or at least this time they've got the automatic sort of pumpers that come out now, so you got to sort of attach them and all that. But it's a very strenuous job that requires a lot of early starts, and for the award to be to the winner to have milk is obviously a tradition here, but the tradition of continuously getting up and working hard and getting that milk out of the cows just to supply basically the whole of America or the whole of the world is, it's a tough job. And I've got a massive amount of respect for the farmers and the dairy farming sort of, industry.
Don't they say there's more cows than people in New Zealand, Jake? Wasn't that an old saying? Was that sheep, maybe? Or something like that. I thought that I heard that before. Was it cows or sheep?
I don't know. Ask him.
There's many animals there, yeah.
So, Scott, wait a minute. You've done this great thing where you have familiarized yourself with America. Like, Scott gets to know America, right? And I noticed one of the coolest parts about it is you're walking around downtown familiarizing yourself, and you look up and there's your name right on a street sign, right? I mean, you pretty much can do whatever you want on that street downtown Indy, correct?
Yeah, well, yes, that's right. I run those streets, at least, or that street this week. So, but I don't. If anything bad happens there, it doesn't come on me, right? So, but anyway, it's very cool, a cool tradition. Myself and my wife were walking around the streets of Indianapolis yesterday, and we're like, "Where's my sign?" I was trying to find it. I was sort of walking up and down the streets, and then eventually found it. And had to get a photo, obviously, and I would love to get it by the end of the month for sure.
Scott, let's talk about your team as well. Obviously, Team Penske in the Indianapolis 500. No more words need to be said about their dominance here and all of their accomplishments over the years. What's it been like for you to come in as a rookie and share the paddock with guys like Will Power and a two-time points champion in Josef Newgarden, and obviously a former winner of this race not too long ago in Simon Pagenaud?
It's been, for me, I've been soaking everything up like a sponge. It's a formidable team to be a part of. Not only does the pedigree that Roger brings that really resonates on everyone, but the way that the drivers and everyone works together, it's a real team atmosphere. Things this month obviously haven't been really speedy. I think we've got great race cars, but the qualifying pace certainly was a little bit of a letdown for us all, because I know how hard the team's worked since 2020, where it wasn't a fantastic qualifying pace race for us either. So we just have qualified where we have. Thankfully, all cars, including Simona, are in the 500 this year. I feel like if we could just have a good, clean sort of start, we're going to be there or thereabouts. And I back my team with pit stops and strategy to put us all up there, within the last stop by the end of the race.
Well, Scott, we are happy to say that should you bring the car home first among the field in the Indianapolis 500, that it will be a taste of home that will be greeting you, because it will be that ice-cold bottle of milk And it's great to know that that's something that you've got some familiarity with in your past. But we wish you the best of luck. And as I always say, Scott, obviously have a great race, but most importantly, have a safe race. We wish you the best of luck in the Indy 500.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and thank you to all the farmers that work hard to, make sure that the winner drinks milk. And yeah, I've ordered whole milk, so hopefully I can get it done.
All right, we'll have a bottle of whole milk waiting on you should you get it done. Our congratulations on a great run so far for Scott McLaughlin. Now it is time to honor the driver, and which is, of course, the namesake, so to speak, of the event today. This is the 47th annual luncheon for the fastest rookie qualifier. So now it's time to meet the driver who exactly qualifies is exactly that. Pietro Fittipaldi is the grandson of two-time Indianapolis 500 winner Emerson Fittipaldi. He qualified at 230.846 miles an hour, good enough for the inside of row number 5 from Dale Coyne Racing with Rick Ware Racing. Please welcome Pietro Fittipaldi. And Pietro, that means that there's a rousing applause. This is all virtual, of course, but everybody's at home clapping for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. It's a huge honor. I mean, there's so much history, and not only in the Speedway, but as well as with this award. It's so many years. It's amazing to be part of it, to have my name already on that trophy. It's a great honor.
You mentioned that history, Pietro. When you think of the Indy 500, you think of names like Unser, Andretti, all of these that have come through that have had multiple generations of drivers. And of course, you representing that name, Fittipaldi. What does that mean to you to carry that with you on Sunday when you're about to start that engine?
It's a huge honor as well. I have, my grandfather who raced in the 500, won it twice. I had my cousin Christian as well, who's raced many times. My uncle Max Pappas, also who's a race steward. But it's great to have the name, on the side of my car, to have all that family history and to bring the name back into the race. It's a huge privilege for me, and I'm very happy to be part of this race.
Now, I want to know which creates more pressure. There's a pressure, obviously, in the Fittipaldi name because of the legacy of your grandfather. But then there's got to be a pressure also in the fact that your uncle's a chief steward, so he's like going to the principal's office to screw up in the race. So which one actually kind of makes you more nervous when you go out there?
Oh, man. I mean, listen, I think having Max as a race steward is kind of tough. He's a tough guy. I think all the drivers would say that. But obviously the name brings some pressure as well. But honestly, there's nobody that can put more pressure on me than I put on myself. I think it's like that for all the racers, because we're not there just having fun. We're there competing. We're there wanting to win, trying to do our best. So obviously within, you're going to put pressure on yourself more than anybody else can. So I think that's a lot of guys. It's like that, So everything else is just added pressure. But the pressure already from inside is there's nothing greater than that.
Indy is its own animal. It's a truly unique place, and in our opinion, the world's greatest race course. But we've had guys up here like last year, Jake Rinus VK, who I don't believe had ever run on an oval before he stepped into the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You have some experience. You ran Texas this year, I believe Gateway a couple of years ago when you were part of the IndyCar series as well. But is there any experience that can be quite like tackling the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
I think the Indy 500, it's a very unique place. It's very, very different. But when I first went from karting to cars, the first cars I started racing were late models at Hickory Motor Speedway. It's a track in North Carolina. It's one of like the oldest, NASCAR oval tracks that there is. And I won the track championship there in 2011. And I won this big race there, the Pepsi Fall Brawl in 2012. And that's when I went to Europe after that. But that really taught me a lot of the principles about oval racing. At least that was short track racing, but the principles are, they're similar. How you qualify, one by one, how you do starts, restarts, sometimes racing side by side. But when you come to super speedway, the speeds are so different compared to any other track, especially in Indianapolis. For example, Texas is a super speedway. But basically there, for me, it's like there's two corners, each corner is one corner, but very long. Here in Indy, it's really 4 corners. You're down a massive straight, then there's a left-hander, a little straight again, another left-hander. And it's very different. When you're approaching, turn 1 or turn 3 at 240 miles an hour in qualifying, for example, and you have to turn left quite hard, it's very intimidating initially.
It's interesting because kind of like Tim Haynes, who is the rookie milk presenter this year, okay? He was supposed to be a rookie last year, and he comes back as a rookie this year. You were supposed to be a rookie a couple of years ago. You had an accident in Europe that prohibited you from driving here. Did that increase the anticipation, the anxiety for you of finally kind of getting everything under your belt at Indianapolis?
I think what increased the anxiety was when you're waiting there for qualifying. I think the IndyCar in Indianapolis like put on such a good show. You're there waiting for qualifying, every car single file, one by one, the adrenaline's building up and you're just standing there by your car. That was like, I've never had a qualifying that had that much adrenaline in my life. It was crazy. But I think, yeah, having that accident in 2018, we were supposed to race in that year for the 500. I was racing in the World Endurance Championship and the car had a failure. I lost steering in Eau Rouge. It's a very quick corner in Spa and hit the wall. The front left tire came in and I broke my legs. And, the day after I had the surgery that night, the doctor told me it was going to take me a year to come back and even think about racing. And at the time, I couldn't accept that. So we put a program together for me to fly back to Indianapolis. And it was during the month of May. I lived in a motorhome with my mom for 2.5 months here. And with the support from all the IndyCar doctors, I was doing rehab at the medical center every day, training at PitFit here in Indianapolis. And 2.5 months after my accident, I was back racing in IndyCar. And, and that for me was something, a big life lesson for me as well. I learned a lot through that. And to be back here and finally racing, I'm so happy and grateful.
By the way, when I'm looking at you, Pietro Fittipaldi's up here with us. Behind is Colton Herta's likeness because he was a fastest rookie qualifier as well. It mentions his hometown, Valencia, California, and then I think, wait a minute, Valencia, oranges, Fittipaldi. That's the only mention of oranges that we're going to have, okay? This is a milk event. We cool with that?
100%. That happened before I was born. But to compensate, if I get the chance to win the 500, you can bring two milk bottles. I'll be very happy to bring whole milk.
You're also a whole milk guy.
Whole milk.
Right.
I want it 100%.
All the rookies want whole milk. No, make note of that.
Yeah. You had mentioned Colton Herta and just all of the youngsters. I mean, Rinus VeeKay starting in row one as well. You now as the fastest rookie. What's the competition level like in that paddock? Because I don't think we've ever seen anything like it.
Yeah, it's very competitive. Not only in the driver standpoint, but as well with the teams. Obviously, you got the really big teams as well. But even the smaller midfield teams, they're able to compete and win races in IndyCar. That's just because the quality of people in the teams and the drivers is so high. And I agree with you. I think the level of drivers is just, it's very competitive nowadays. So it's really great. And the race is going to be interesting because qualifying, they say in Indy, it's like two races. There's qualifying, then there's a race. And they're two separate races. There's one race to qualify to get in. And then there's the actual race and the cars handle very differently. So I think for the race, guys who maybe were competitive in qualifying might not have the race car, to race in traffic.
Which one do you guys work harder to set up? Yeah, because for those that are unfamiliar, you're right. I mean, you get your car set up to be able to go fast by itself, but then you've got to turn around and make it fast enough to be fast with 32 cars around it, disrupting the air and everything else. Which is harder to set up, and which one do you put more time into?
I think the harder one to set up is definitely, getting the right car to race with, because when you have all that turbulent air, you can have 10 cars in front of you. To get the car feeling right is going to be very difficult. So sometimes you have to take compromises, but to get that race setup is very, very hard.
It's like you driving on 465, Jakes. When you're in traffic, it's a little bit different than when you're just, alone in the parking lot.
That is correct. That is correct.
I just think it's going to be a great day on Sunday because even though we're not going to have the Indianapolis Motor Speedway at full throat, Pietro, to have 135,000 fans there, it'll be great to have that atmosphere back. What is it like for you as a driver? Are you so focused on what's going on that you can't really see or hear the crowd around you? Or do you notice the fact that there are 135,000 people cheering you on?
I've never raced here with, I've never raced in Indianapolis or even with, all the fans and stuff. But I know from other drivers that when the grandstands are packed with 300, 400,000 people, you definitely hear it. And when you're doing the parade laps there, about to start the race, it's, you definitely feel like you're in the World Cup final of racing. It's really crazy.
Lastly, I wanted to ask you about this before we get you all kinds of awards. And the real reason you're here, not to talk to the two of us, but when you are a rookie and when you're going out there, and maybe this is even true if you're Scott Dixon and this is your 20th venture into this, but how much, with all the competition, how much trust do you have to have in all of your competitors and really the respect of one another? Because you are going out there at dangerous speeds but yet there has to be a comfort level in knowing that you're out there with 32 of the best in the world.
Yeah, you have to respect the cars, the speeds, the track. You know, it's a super speedway, and obviously every driver that you're racing with, because we're all relying on each other. You know, when you're there, one guy makes a mistake, it can cost you know, another guy's race. And the accidents here, the impact is very heavy. It's not like a road course or any other race. You're racing at 230 miles an hour. So when you hit the wall or when you know, hit another car at that speed, you're definitely going to feel it. So definitely the respect between driver to driver is very important.
You ready to collect some awards here, Pietro?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get it started.
You were ready 10 minutes ago, right?
Yeah,
I'm done talking to you guys.
American Dairy Association Indiana President Richard Thomas here with our first award, first of 3 for our 47th Fastest Rookie of the Year.
Congratulations on your award, rookie winning, and this trophy here has got your name sketched in it, and it will be there permanently at the museum. And
it's amazing.
So congratulations
Thank you so
again.
much. It's a huge honor. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We noticed that, Pietro, you took a look at it before we began today. You took a look at the trophy. Some great names on that trophy already. I mean, Rick Mears, Michael Andretti, Josef Newgarden, Colton Herta. So you are in good company in terms of that name. Speaking of good company, our next guest is the Vice President of the American Dairy Association of Indiana. Please welcome Janet Daig.
Since the trophy has to stay at the track in the museum, this is your plaque to take home to commemorate your accomplishments of being the 2021 Indianapolis 500 fastest rookie.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
That is a good looking plaque. That's a lot better than my participation trophy.
On my wall.
We met Tim Haynes earlier, but what we didn't tell you is he is also the treasurer of the American Dairy Association of Indiana, meaning he's the guy that carries a really big check, Pietro.
Yep, Pietro, on behalf of the American Dairy Association of Indiana, I'd like to present you with this check for being the fastest rookie.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
$10,000. That's a lot of money.
There you go. You gotta like that, right?
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
It's a huge honor. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fastest rookie qualifier for the 105th Indianapolis 500, Pietro Fittipaldi.
All right.
Thank you.
Pietro, stay up here with us because the special guest parade is going to continue here. In fact, we have one right now that's going to be joining us here in studio. He is a 2-time IndyCar Series champion and the 2012 Fastest Rookie of the Year, and safe to say, a huge fan of milk. Let's welcome on Team Penske's Josef Newgarden. Josef, what's up, man?
Great to be here, guys. So excited for Pietro. Awesome job. Very good. I know Scott was disappointed. Scott wanted that. He wanted to be the quickest, but you did the best job last weekend. So now it's on to the big show after this.
Okay, I'm looking at the picture right here, Josef.
It was a while ago.
You're a young buck, right?
Yeah.
You look the exact same. But it doesn't seem like long ago that you were a rookie in this field. What things, when you go through that morning that Pietro is going to experience on Sunday, now is your chance. I know he's not a teammate, but if you had to give him advice, or Pietro, if you wanted to ask him, like, what all is going on here, what do you say to him?
I think the biggest thing is treating it like any other race. You know, that's the difficulty of it being the 500. You only get one opportunity every year. That's why it's so special to win this race. Same thing, you're only a rookie once, so to win this award is so special. But I think trying to calm the nerves, make it like any other day, approach it like you would any other race. That's really the secret here, is to get through that start, be there at the end. Obviously, you know, you can't win this race if you're not there at the end. So giving yourself an opportunity to compete to win the race at the very end and being calm and treating it like any other day, I think that's the secret.
We
So
talked
take
about
that.
it with your teammate Scott on Zoom, Josef. Not a great qualifying weekend for the team, but the race is a whole different animal. And last year you were a part of it. I believe all of you guys improved your position on race day, including you finishing P5. So are you confident coming up here on Sunday?
Yeah, I feel good about it. You know, I think we have good race cars. You know, Pietro can speak to this too. The qualifying is one deal, racing is another. I think our race cars are really fantastic. I really do. I know Scott feels confident, and same with Will and Simon. So we're putting all of our energy into next Sunday. I want to win the milk so bad, just like Pietro. So yeah, I hope we have what it takes to be there at the end and to capitalize on an opportunity. But this place is magical. You know, we all want to win the 500. We all want to drink the milk. And I hope it is us at the end of the day.
You know, we talked to Pietro just about that internal pressure that comes with the expectation because of the name. Josef, I know you've got to feel it as well, because the reality is, since we first saw you in lights, this seemed to be your path, your destiny, that ultimately you would become an Indy 500 champion. and there's so much that goes into it. Do you feel it though, the fact that so many people are expecting that eventually Josef Newgarden gets that milk?
Well, you never know. We all have an individual story. You have no idea if it's going to be your time. I know this place doesn't owe anybody anything. You've got to earn it. So, just like my fellow competitors, we all dream of, being the one that's chosen that day and being ready for the opportunity. But you can't predict this, and you can't put too much pressure on yourself. I think you have to control what's in your, what's in your control, and try and be, present for the opportunity if it presents itself. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it'll ever work out. I'm just going to try and be there like every other person in this race. And if it's our day, we're gonna take the moment and try and capitalize on it.
Speaking of pressure, this is now your boss's place, right?
Yeah, the big boss. Roger knows a thing or two about the milk, and I don't even know. I don't know if someone shares the milk with Roger. I don't know if that's ever happened, but it would be very special to be able to win this race for Roger and everything that he's done for the Speedway, and keeping us going after last year, which how difficult it was. There was a tremendous amount of energy that went in just to get us, to race last year when we did. So I'm excited we're still here. Excited we can, cherish these traditions, especially with the American Dairy Association of Indiana. You hope this never goes away. It's the best time of the year for race car drivers.
Are you a whole milk guy also?
Absolutely. Whole milk all the way. Yeah, I'm just like Pietro.
Man, okay. So it makes it easy, right, Derek?
Yeah, I saw that basically half of the field is whole, and then there are a couple of 2%ers on there. No skims this year.
Juan Montoya wants a side of chocolate.
Wants a side of chocolate?
He wants chocolate milk, even though it's not listed.
Chocolate milk.
Yeah.
So he gets the when you're a two-time winner,
Derek,
I guess you're allowed to do that.
Chocolate milk. Do you guys not know this? Chocolate milk is an excellent post-workout drink, Derek.
That's right. 10 cups of raw spinach, and I used to have I had my notes with all the milk facts. Jake took it away from me though, of all the nutrition that's involved in that.
Hey, again, strange year. Okay, for either one of you guys. I mean, Pietro, you still are undergoing things like this. Joseph, you've gone through the parade and everything that goes into it. Is there a part of you, when you're sitting in that car and they're doing back home again, is there a part of, for either one of you guys at that point, almost like a relief? Because everything, all the auxiliary stuff's over with, and now it's just down to doing what you're supposed to do.
I mean, for me, it's a magical moment just to see the crowd there, to see the energy. Really, the parade laps are the best part of it, And what's funny is you go from this, this crazy energy that you feel to just focus as soon as the green flag drops, and you're just locked in on what you're doing, trying to win the race, trying to do everything possible to do a good job. But that transition from all this energy and excitement to laser focused approach, it's unlike any other event. Just like Pietro said, you can't beat this place. There's nothing else like it on the planet for a race car driver.
Has it felt more normal this year, Joseph, having gone through, last year? I mean, I was just happy to have a 500 at all in August, but it was a little weird that it's August and we're running the Indianapolis 500. Now it's felt like maybe a little bit more of a normal month of May, if you will.
Oh, definitely. Just having fans back has been amazing. To feel the energy of everybody. I think it's going to make.
It felt pretty normal, didn't it? Like
it really did. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of people there on qualifying. I think that they said they had a good crowd, better than almost 2 or 3 years ago, which is amazing. So I think you see the enthusiasm. People want to come back. This race is built on the fans. It's built on the traditions, the tradition of the milk. I mean, this is what makes Indianapolis and the 500 what it is. So last year, I think it was so important that we continued the tradition, but the tradition is not the same without the fans and the energy that they bring.
Now, Pietro, in terms of the tradition of being at this track, for you, because you're not full-time in the series, we'll see you back in the car when, and we will see you back here how many times?
Yeah, so hopefully many times. My dream is to be able to race full-time in IndyCar. But to be doing the 500 for the first time this year, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great experience. And, I'll be back after the 500 back in Gateway. So I'll be doing all the ovals in the 51 car. And and then for next year, let's see. Hopefully it'll be full time. That's what I'm working towards.
Okay, last question for Joseph before we get to the trivia answers. Derek, did you get the winners?
I have the winners right here. Yes.
I gotta ask you though, Joseph. Speaking of winners, you love milk, man. Like I've seen the video. You're carrying milk everywhere you go. You're drinking it all the time. Where did Josef Newgarden's love of milk come from?
Yeah, I don't know where the crossover happens, where it becomes a problem. But like I drink so much milk in my life, and it's true. It's not a facade. Like I have an infatuation with milk. I just love it. But I grew up in a dairy household. Like, for me, milk goes with any meal. It's probably my favorite beverage. So it would be like the ultimate dream to win this race. I feel like this race was made for me, and I've just not been able to win it. But yeah, a lot of respect. I think Scott, said it so well. There's a tremendous amount of respect for the Dairy Farmer Association and just the work that goes into, providing this for people, not just for this race, but, as we live every day. It's a really hard job. And I've been to some of the farms in Indiana personally. So I know exactly where it comes from. I know the effort that goes into getting us this milk. And having that perspective, I think, would make it very special to win this race. So yeah, it's my dream one day to make it happen.
Just don't pull Rick Mears. Make sure you keep the bottle. You don't want to have.
Yeah, I thought that was really smart. I didn't even realize that Rick, because someone will take it from you probably.
Of course. I didn't know that. I didn't know that someone takes it from you.
Maybe they would. Someone wants it. So if you win, you got to keep it.
You got to take it first, Pietro. That's right. You got to take the milk first.
Let's get to step one before step two when it comes to that. We gave out 5 trivia questions earlier in the program, and we have a list of winners here. But Pietro and Joseph, we want you to actually help us with some of these trivia questions because, Joseph, you've been around for almost 10 years now. And Pietro, of course, with what your grandfather did at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, I know both of you guys are well aware of the history. So let's start with the first question that we gave for the trivia.
Okay, so which one of you guys, Joseph, I'm going to let you answer number one because I'm sure it's painful because you were right there trying to chase it down to prohibit this guy from winning. The answer to number one is?
Alexander Rossi.
Alexander Rossi.
And our winner is Ben Wilkie. Congratulations to Ben for winning a Yeti mug.
Okay, in terms of question number 2, we know that Simona Di Silvestro, who has partnered with Joseph as an auxiliary teammate, is one of the females running this year. But in terms of females, and this answer, it goes, of course, Joseph.
Danica Patrick.
Danica Patrick is the correct answer.
And our winner there is Deb Azza. She wins a official Milk Presenters cap. So congratulations to Deb for that. For question number 3, Pietro, this is actually good for you. It's not a father-son duo, but it was a grandfather-son duo for you with your grandfather, Emerson Fittipaldi. But the winner there, the 2 names?
Yeah, Michael and Marco Andretti.
That's right.
I guessed that. I when you guys put the trivia questions, I was with my brother, and I said it's Michael and Marco.
A lot of people say, yeah.
Get him a Yeti cooler. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Question number 4, all right, in terms of the kind of milk, we now know that everybody on the panel here drinks whole milk. And the correct answer for question number 4 is none other than
buttermilk.
Buttermilk is indeed the correct answer.
Joseph, and then finally, question number 5. By the way, the winner for question number 4, Andrew Bartolossi. Congratulations to him. He's the winner of a Yeti Cup. Also the winner of a Yeti Cup is Cindy Nunez because she got this one right for the final question with the 3 milk varieties, 2% whole and fat-free. So congratulations to all 5 of our winners. In fact, we have other winners who joined today's show. Yeti Cup winner Julia Wickard, also a cup for Steve Miller. I love his band. Jim Wenzel, a Yeti mug, a mug for Scott Higgins, and our grand prize Yeti cooler goes to Rita Milliken. So congratulations to all of our great Winners Drink Milk winners from today's program.
And all of you at home are winners regardless because you're tuned in, of course, to watch this. And this is all about tradition. We are all about tradition here at the Luncheon. And that, of course, means the traditional toast of milk. So go out, gather, get your bottle of milk, get your glass of milk, whatever it might be. Watch this video. And when you come back, it's the moment we've all been waiting for here at the Fastest Rookie Luncheon. Take a look.
Just like Louis Meyer did in 1936 and the 2020 Indianapolis 500 did in 2020, winners drink milk.
Winners drink milk.
From Idaho to Indianapolis, good luck and Godspeed.
Winners drink milk.
Winners drink milk.
Winners drink milk.
From Missouri to all the drivers in there, good luck and Godspeed.
Winners drink milk.
Winners drink milk.
Winners drink milk.
Winners drink milk. Cheers from your neighbors in Ohio.
Winners drink milk.
Winners drink milk.
Winners drink milk.
Winners drink milk.
I am a firm believer that winners do drink milk.
Winners 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 drink milk.
From Minnesota to Indianapolis, good luck and Godspeed.
Winners drink milk.
Winners drink milk.
Winners Winners drink milk.
Winners drink milk.
Winners drink milk.
Winners drink milk.
It is my distinct pleasure and honor to start the toast by raising them to Josef and to the fastest rookie, Pietro Fittipaldi. Guys, most importantly, a fast race, but of course, a safe race to you on Sunday. Godspeed to you, all right?
Thank you. That is really good.
Joseph as well. Best of luck on Sunday and stay safe out there as well.
Thanks, guys.
The American Dairy Association of Indiana has again been pleased for the 47th year to award Pietro Fittipaldi with the fastest rookie luncheon. We wish Pietro, Josef, and all of the drivers in the 105th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race the safest of competitions coming up on Sunday. And a special thank you to all of the first responders and the men and women of the military who make it possible for all of us to witness the greatest spectacle in racing coming up on Sunday. Godspeed.
Thanks so much for celebrating with us today, and we will see you next year for the 48th Fastest Rookie Luncheon.